Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talk Hot Sport here on Talk Hot Media. We are back after a little while. We had a little hiatus, but we're back and we're ready to go. Today we have Power here.
Yes,
Power.
sir.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, and then to the far right we have Anayo.
Okay,
Dampha.
welcome back.
And
Hold on, bro. How are you?
King Pman.
Thank you, bro.
Good.
Thanks for having me.
So yes, we are back, and as you know, when we are here, we talk about sports, especially football, and everything that's going on in the world of football. For today's episode, we'll be starting with the just concluded AFCON. We'll be talking about everything AFCON related, from the hosting of the tournament to the referees, and also looking at the final and a review of it. Personally, I think this is one of the best AFCONs that we've had. So kudos to CAF and to the organizers. And I'd want to see what my fellow panelists here have to say. So let's start with you, Anayo. What are your thoughts on the AFCON?
Thank you for that wonderful question. So I would like to start by saying a thank you to CAF and to the organizing country, that's Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, based on where you're coming from. Not to take away anything away from other organizing nations like Cameroon, Algeria, and anything. I mean, but this year's AFCON, quite that in the beginning, we were like, oh, there was a little bit of controversy. Oh, this country is dirty and everything. But as we progress, we saw how the hype, the unionism, the culture is more than sports. It brought a lot of people together. The people, language, a lot of exchange of the African beauty. We saw a lot of African beauty. For example, the Cape Verde. I would like to see more Cape Verde in many competitions, and to see them and interact and have unionism with them. So moving on. Moving on. For me, this is my favorite AFCON. Nigeria, we went to the final, and unfortunately, we lost to Ivory Coast. Kudos to all team performing. Gambian, this is 59th Independence Day for Gambia. They performed. They went to the competition. Although there were a lot of challenges, but they did well to their own capacity. And the winning country, the host. I mean, it's one thing to host it, it's one thing to win it. I think they actually did well. They were the losers. They were the best losers, sacking their coach, even going ahead of trying to get their former coach that wanted to do in 2017, but he's now coaching France, so they could not get the coach. So they took the assistant coach. Then he guided them up. As they were playing, I was telling Power, I actually did Portugal 2016. You guys went Portugal. This 2016 that happened to Portugal and the Euro will happen again. Because they were the best loser from best loser to the final. But all the same, I wish them good luck and success on their.
So what's your take on the use of VAR?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, I was so impressed by the VAR. I think I would like to make an appeal for the English referee and the VAR team to have a review or have a talk with the African ref. They did so well. I think the one that invented it. I was so impressed. Like even though I was against Nigeria, the Osimhen's goal, it was so disciplined, fair play. It was so straight to the point. No trying to like draw imaginary you haven't seen before. So I think the referee was on point, and they did so well without prejudice or any kind of nepotism or anything. It was so straightforward, and I love the referee for this AFCON. Yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, Anayo.
Thank you very
now,
much.
Power, what are your thoughts on the AFCON?
So we all know the story of how he defeated testicular cancer and how he has come back to becoming the hero for his country. The AFCON was a very, very memorable one. For me, it's the best AFCON I have ever watched, man, because the different countries, the different African countries, the underdog stories that happen. We saw Equatorial Guinea, we saw Cape Verde, topping groups that they were not supposed to even come out from on a paper. On paper, they were not even supposed to make it out of those groups, and they were topping those groups. We saw somebody like Emiliano Insue, a right back in third division, being the top scorer of the tournament. We saw Williams, the goalkeeper for South Africa, removing 4 penalties out of 5. I've not even seen that in any, forget AFCON, I've not even seen that in football. A keeper removing 4 penalties out of 5 in a quarter-final, in a knockout stage. So there were a lot of, memorable records, memorable moments, and like you said earlier, it kind of brought Africa together and made us forget our problems for once, because we saw we all know about the genocide that's happening in Congo, and we saw how the Congolese players were, taking a stand and showing, portraying it to the world and showing, using football to educate the masses on what's happening in their country, create awareness. So yeah, I for one, I enjoyed it a lot. When it comes to the refereeing for me was just standard. Like you said, the goal that Osimhen scored against South Africa, it pained me that it was denied, but in as much as it pained me, it was the right call. So you can't deny that. Like, a lot of right calls were made, and like you said, English referees should be given a chance.
I feel, let me come in there. I feel with English refereeing, they look at the occasion and look at the teams.
Exactly.
And that affects their officiating.
Yeah.
If it was in England, they would say, okay, let's say
game,
Liverpool or United have scored, let us not go back.
Oh, Osimhen is the CAF player of the year.
Thank you. So things like that.
So
in Africa, I feel the referees, they don't look at those things. They just focus on what is happening on the pitch, and then they do their job to the best of their ability. Yep.
Was it the South African referee, the game between Egypt, where he was telling the captain, "You are spoiling the game," and that was caught on video. He told him directly, "You are spoiling the game. You are spoiling the game. You need to listen to me." So like the referees took their stand. Unlike previous AFCONs, we had I think it was in the previous AFCON that we had the referee end the game at 85 minutes.
Yes.
So like this time around, they really stepped up their game, and kudos to Cote d'Ivoire. Like you also said, hosting the AFCON is one thing, but winning it in your home, that's special. And the story, from them being best losers to them knocking out Senegal to them knocking out Mali with a man down. The way everything was going for them, their coach has never coached a senior professional whatever before, but in 4 games he has made them champions of Africa. So a lot of things actually. Yes, I wanted Nigeria to win, but when you looked at the way things were, you knew that this was going back to Cote d'Ivoire because everything was just aligning for them. So kudos to Cote d'Ivoire on winning it. Kudos to Nigeria also for making it to the final, because honestly speaking, before the AFCON, I was ready to put my money that we will not even make it to the quarterfinal of the tournament, because I watched both our friendlies against Lesotho, and I've forgotten the other team, and we were dreadful, so I wasn't really expecting much. But they did well to make it to the final, and kudos to Gambia too. We had a lot of issues before we made it to Ivory Coast. We had the issue with the plane. We had players talking about no payment. The players did not have test games, no friendly games, and a lot of issues. But then they still stuck together, and the game against Cameroon will have been the most memorable game in Gambian history, because I still remember it. I'm having goosebumps. That second goal scattered my area, and then when Cameroon equalized, it was like if they poured water outside, nobody will hear anything, man. So,
I lost my voice.
Bruh, like that second goal was just, it was everything, man. So AFCON really gave us, the memes, the man that was talking to the lady, and the lady was trying to avoid, So, it gave us a lot of memories. So we hope that this is a stepping stone for African football, and from here, they can take it up. You feel me? Because we don't want a situation in which the next one is below this. So and one last thing also, I'm really happy for the global recognition and publicity that this AFCON got. It was everywhere. We recorded more viewings than the Super Bowl.
4 billion, 8 billion or so.
AFCON had more viewings than the Super Bowl and all of that. So man,
even the
bless, man.
Give shout out to Cape Verde.
It was Cape Verde women.
I mean Cape Verde.
So I know if it was left to you, the next AFCON will be Cape Verde. Yes. Well, hopefully, because they're an island country, very small. Yes. So.
You have to swim and everything.
Okay. Thank you. So now we move on to King Pman. So before, I just want us to talk about the entertainment angle. We've seen this song, Avance, it's called Coup de Marteau. During the AFCON, the games are very lively. The fans are in the stands dancing and singing. we don't see these things in other competitions. You know, the fans will be there. Most of the things that they'll be doing is just having their scarves, drinking probably. The only exception is the last World Cup in Qatar, where drinking was prohibited. But we want to see these things to show other fans in other parts of the world that you can enjoy football without having to, you know, be tipsy or things like that. And also showcase African culture and how we do support our teams. So what are your thoughts on how the AFCON was able to give us that?
First and foremost, happy Independence Day to Gambia once again.
Uh,
Let me just start like this, like my other brothers have said. Watching this AFCON really made me proud of being an African man. Like, the whole Gambia as a whole. Even if you notice when Gambia, when all of them were, as when they were both kick off from the tournament, still yet the Gambia is still very happy to be part of this, the AFCON. I mean, like every four corner, Africa, QC, were like putting something out for people to watch the match without no stress. So we appreciate them for that. Kudos to them, and God bless Gambia once again. Happy Independence Day once again, Gambia. Yeah, concerning the entertainment, you should know that we Africa is in us. God really bless us with a lot of things. We are good. We are, as in, this thing is already in us. Like this spirit is already dwelling in us. Even you, if you notice this AFCON, even if your country is not qualified for, they did not qualify, I mean, for this tournament, you watching those fans will be very, very happy. Like the way they do things, it's different. Look at even what's it called? This was former Arsenal coach, Arsene Wenger. About need to travel, go watch the final.
Yes.
Like,
so many.
This is our own. What I would like to say is that this coming AFCON that is coming, I think in 2 or 3 years time, if I'm not mistaken. If we can still keep this same energy, like this is us, Africa. This is our own. Let's appreciate our own. Let's put all our energy the way we did, because like my brother said, this AFCON is when I started watching AFCON, is when they give birth to me. This is the best one ever. And if you see, like, let's start from the VAR, everything, the organizers, everything was like, it went so very well. Like, concerning the entertainment of the thing, we can still do more. We did a lot. Like, if you notice, yes, during the, what's it called, this past, with this World Cup, the one in Qatar, you know, they didn't allow them to drink alcohol. And even we didn't notice anything like that too in this Awona, but everybody was just happy. This is going very, very well, and a lot of artists come out with different music, like different to make it lively, and we are very happy watching it. We are happy having our own, and I would just tell us to just keep on doing it. Then the entertainment of the team, we should keep it, because we are the Africa. We are the one we are, and the spirit is enough. We should just keep it up like that.
Thank you, King Pman. So just finally on the AFCON, before we move on to something else, I feel if I want to talk about Gambia and GFF, we will be here till tomorrow. So I'll just leave that. Hopefully, people responsible for football in the Gambia will do the right thing and make sure that henceforth our football is put in the correct. It's done correctly, basically. Because there's a lot of things that are wrong with Gambian football. In the just concluded AFCON, our preparation was not good. We had issues with the plane, issues with unpaid bonuses, so many issues. But on the AFCON, so we'd have that slot. Whenever it's on, we know the world would be watching us. And I have to mention CAF and the good work that they're doing, because since Motsepe came in, he has tried to improve the standards, both infrastructure and everything else concerning football, whether it's the local leagues, whether it's the officiating, whether it's inviting people in to come and help the African continent. He has been doing that. So I feel he just needs to maintain it, because we can see Gambia in our qualifiers, we cannot even play at home because our stadium is not up to standard. And he has made sure that it's across the board. It's not just Gambia that's affected. Many other countries are affected with that stadium ban. So we are all tasked with raising the standard so that African football will be where world football is. So I'd like to say kudos to Ivory Coast, kudos to CAF, and hopefully the next AFCON will be better than this. Yes. And one more thing as well, shout outs to many Gambians that went to the AFCON to raise our flag high. We had Baldes, the female photographer, young photographer that was making headlines in the AFCON. We also had Ndajain, our former captain, Scorpions captain, who is now a CAF ambassador. Yes, and we're doing good things. I just hope GFF would help us, yes. But Gambians are really doing well when it comes to football in Africa, yes. So shout outs to Baldes and shout outs to Ndajain, our former captain.